Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to your power call. In the name of Allah, the beneficent and merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, who we believe came in the person of Master Father Muhammad. I thank him for raising up for us the living and exalted Christ, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the first begotten of the dead. And I thank those two for leaving in our midst a divine warner and guide in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's in their three names. I would like to greet you all with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. I am so excited to be back on the power call. Thank everybody for their patience. I know some of you all wasn't able to come down to Dallas with us and celebrate the launch of Building Wealthy Families. But hopefully y'all was there in spirit and was able to see, man, the videos and the pictures. I mean, we're going to talk about it in just a minute. We're going to go and kind of talk about what Building Wealthy Families is real quick. And then we're going to get into our reading today, the 4 key elements of change. Now, those of you all who was able to come down, if y'all don't mind, I would like to just, if y'all can for maybe like 2 minutes, just give your testimony, your thoughts, and what was your feedback on being there actually in person for those who wasn't able to make it. I would like to hear from you all. So if you were able to come and make it down to Dallas with us, go ahead and press the number 1 at this time. If you was able to come on down and make it to Dallas with us. And in the meantime, we're going to go to quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back and get ready to get started. I've said this on the call a few times. It's been on my mind. As I shared in the video, it has been hard for me to move on because I have literally seen lives transform.
You guys, after that first class with the crash options, gave me more than I got out of 6 years of college and over 13 years in a career.
So BWO actually started in 2020. Things wasn't handled properly behind the scenes and things fell apart. I've been sitting back thinking like, bro, can that be rebuilt? But the foundation now would be spiritual. I appreciate y'all, man. It is because of y'all's support that I believe it can be done again. You all's backing, you all DMing me over the years, over the months we had the power call, is why I feel safe that it can be rebuilt, and any help that I need, somebody can be there to help. I didn't drop no names. I wanted to surprise y'all, but he is. It is verified. You can research it. The #1 trader in the world. We bringing you the best of the best. Let me go ahead and show y'all. There you go. So as you guys can see on the screen, that's him right there. So if you're ready, Brother Tay.
I will judge a man on his character on how he treats his wife. Your wife, your mother, and your kids, that's your house, your home. If you live in the dirty of your home, mess up what you got in that space, I don't stand a chance, and neither does anybody else. Because every time you push a button to buy or sell, you're thinking about your wife telling you that this is a scam. And so you can't even see the screen clear enough to say, okay, this is going in the direction I think it's going or not. So there's a lot of things that you'll see me do, and the reasons why I do them is because I'm looking to build the whole trader. I'm gonna be asking what y'all eat. What's your diet looking like right now? You are what you eat, right?
So Sister Alexis, if you want to come up and kind of introduce yourself.
I am a licensed wealth strategist, professional day trader, and certified cryptocurrency expert. So like many of us on this call, most of you have found Brother Ben because you're looking for something. There's like this burning desire that you have because you know it's time for another level and another layer. Really listening to the needs that the community had and some of the things that they were missing. Those are really the reasons why I've chosen to assist all of you. Shift from that of an average mind to a wealthy one.
Many people in business, they keep whatever they believe in or God away. She makes sure that she stands on that and she keeps it at the forefront. Sister Courtney, what can they expect from you?
Something that you can expect from me is I consider myself a builder of a person first and then a builder of a business second. My goal is to serve, and I believe success leaves clues. But I believe if you operate with a moral integrity and God is the base of even when you want to be upset, when you want to be angry, when you feel wronged, if you use the God in you to guide you to do what's right, we can build 6 and 7 figure businesses if we're passionate about it and we're dialed in.
That's heaven right there, to have somebody that's adamant about making sure we in compliance, making sure things is done right, making sure things is done decent and in order. That's all she preaches, man, when it comes to this business stuff.
It was a program that one of your friends, whoever your affiliates was, that was doing. And then I just said, nah, this is not Brother Ben. I'm not going to do it. And I didn't do it. And then I just seen things just fall down. And that's what made me fall in love with you, your program, because of the teachings. And then you said something about ego. They edge God out. And I was like, that's it. God wasn't a part of this. And so I didn't feel comfortable. And so my daughter and I would watch you, and then Talia's like, Mommy, join on. That's Brother Ben. That's Brother Ben. And I said, yeah, we're going to do it this time because I feel God isn't a part of it.
Man, and ain't nothing more powerful than our unity. It is more powerful than an atom bomb. And as long as we stand together as a solid wall and stand on truth, we will make this thing happen, and we will build it bigger, stronger, better, and faster than we did the first time.
All right. So y'all see that? Quick video, just to show y'all how the first night was. I am a wealth builder. So that was at the thing. I want to do something before we get started with our reading today. There was something that we did there in person that I want to do live in front of everyone now, because obviously a lot of you guys wasn't able to make it. A lot of you guys wasn't expecting this and aren't going to be expecting this, but here we go. So what I want to do is I want to give a shout out to everyone who actually got a certificate. We some people that got some certificates. So first, let's everybody give it up for Sister Shalon. This certificate is awarded to Sister Shalon in recognition of her outstanding leadership displayed within our power call, especially when it comes to fishing and having her people in on the power call during the Ramadan. Shout out to Sister Shalon. Then we have Sister Yasina. This certificate is awarded to Sister Yasina in recognition of her outstanding leadership displayed within our power call. Shout out to Sister Yasina for leading our sister circle. Then we got Sister Yolanda, Sister Nevertheless. This certificate is awarded to Sister Yolanda in recognition of her outstanding contribution as a speaker within our power call. Shout out to Sister Fatima. This certificate is awarded to Sister Fatima in recognition of her outstanding contribution as a Ramadan reader within the power call. Shout out to Sister Tornisa. This certificate is awarded to Sister Tornisa in recognition of her outstanding contribution as a supporter within the power call. Shout out to Sister Lena. This certificate is awarded to Sister Lena in recognition of her outstanding contribution as a peer within the power call. Brother Daniel. This certificate is awarded to Brother Daniel in recognition of his outstanding performance within the power call. Brother Antone. This certificate is awarded to Brother Antone in recognition of his status as a rising star within the power call. Shout out to Brother Will. This certificate is awarded to Brother Will in recognition of his status as a rising star within the power call. Brother Khalil, this certificate is awarded to Brother Khalil in recognition of his contribution as a Ramadan reader within the power call. Oh, y'all keep your hands going. Keep the digital hands going. Shout out to Brother Tony. Oh, Brother Tony, this certificate is awarded to Brother Tony in recognition of his contribution as a speaker within the power call. Shout out to Brother Remus. Where Brother Remus is. I said, oh, man, we've been trying to get in contact with Brother Remus. This certificate is awarded to Brother Remus in recognition of his contribution as a Ramadan reader within the power call. Sister Randisha, this certificate is awarded to Sister Randisha in recognition of her support as a co-host within the power call. Brother King Cam, this certificate is awarded to Brother King Cam in recognition of his support as a co-host within the power call. Sister Alexia, this certificate is awarded to Sister Alexia in recognition for her support as a co-host within the power call. Sister Desiree, this certificate is awarded to Sister Desiree. I know it said Alexia, we're going to fix it. In recognition of her support as a co-host within the power call. Brother Wesley, this certificate is awarded to Brother Wesley in recognition of his support as a co-host within the power call. And then we got Brother Nurse Earl. This certificate is awarded to Brother Nurse Earl in recognition for his high engagement within the power call. So, shout out to everybody who got your certificates. If you didn't get a certificate, hey, man, keep going. We just pick some people. I didn't pick, by the way, so don't be like, man, Brother Ben didn't pick me. I didn't pick, and I ain't gonna tell you who picked. But shout out to everybody who just been here for a while, man, who been here for 2 years, and you know, who just been participating and speaking and inviting and doing all this good stuff, man. So we definitely appreciate y'all, but we appreciate everybody who shows up. So if you didn't get recognized, I'm recognizing everybody who didn't get recognized because you just turning on that phone, turning on that computer every morning and getting on with us is a good first step, because y'all obviously see there's hundreds of people, probably thousands of people who don't even get on early in the morning live with us. So you guys are all appreciated. Now, if I can share before we hear from everybody, let me show y'all the picture, man. I mean, ooh, the picture. This is just amazing. Look at this, y'all. I mean, look at this. We started with 13 people, y'all. Ramadan. Look at this. Look at this picture right here. Oh, look at that, man. Woo, ain't that amazing, man? Started with 13 solid individuals. We kept going. And, man, we done launched this thing. Building wealthy families, man. We done launched it, y'all. We doing it. Wow. So let's hear from those who came down to Dallas with us. If anybody have that list, because it's showed up there now. I can't scroll all the way up there. So Sister Randisha, if y'all got the list of people that we had who gonna speak, let me see.
Start off with Sister Yolanda, Brother Ben, and I'm sending it over.
Okay, let's start with Sister. Yeah, and that ain't everybody. Yeah, Sister Rachel. Let's start off with Sister Yolanda.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I must say that the energy was welcoming, the spirit was high, and this is just the beginning. For those that were unable to attend for whatever reason, as Brother Ben said, he is, that's how he is. But I felt a little more looseness with Brother Ben in the public, which is a great thing. Because since I've come into the nation, I remember back in 2018, and every time I saw Brother Ben, he was always walking by himself, quiet. Like, okay, which way I'm gonna go? Nevertheless, it was a beautiful experience in Dallas. The hospitality was good, the food was good, and just overall the energy. This is just the beginning, as I stated. Stay tuned for more to come. And for all of us here and that Fish People in, I would stress, trust the process. Just trust the process. Have patience with yourself, because these things that we are coming into a new knowledge of will require a change in our mindset. So with that being said, I appreciate what nephew has put in place, and as he continues to strive and build. And this is what it looks like working in the community. Because everything that we come in contact with, in my opinion, it's going to require you to have a spiritual foundation. Because it's hard out there. It's challenging out there. It's not easy. And the information that we so don't get as a people. And we have a team that is willing to share their experiences, their knowledge with us. And knowledge is not always free. So I ask that we respect the team, respect the time, be patient with everything and everyone, and just trust the process along the ride. Thank you, Brother Ben, and your great staff. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Praise be to Allah. Sister Farah. Shout out to Sister Farah and her husband that came down.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yes, sir. Man, there's so much I can say. Really, I learned a lot during the journey there. We had drove all the way from Jacksonville, Florida, because well, one, we knew we had to there. I just, something in me just told me I couldn't miss it. My husband wasn't gonna let me miss it. We're still on the way home, but it was the experience. It was just so beautiful. It's one thing to feel the energy we feel on these power calls, and then to feel that in person, everyone's energy. Being able to connect with my sisters, we was able to talk about our businesses, and just network. We was able to network, brainstorm ideas. Me and Sister Gwen, she was giving me ideas, things I didn't even think about, my business. And I just think you learn a lot better as a group, than on your own. It's one thing to sit down and take notes and, at home, go through the curriculum at home on your own, but study in person, it kind of reminds me of study group a little bit, at the mosque, because you get to hear everybody's input, and they might say something you were thinking. A lot. There's a lot I learned. I took a lot of notes, and listening to questions that were being asked, it only just furthered my understanding of a lot that was being spoken on in the workshops, and the food was delicious. The food was amazing on at the gala. That gala, it was beautiful. Everyone was dressed nice and looked really nice. Just being there with the family and enjoying our time with each other, it was beautiful. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for sharing. Sister Cynthia.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Oh man, I had a great time. I learned a lot. And Sister Gwen, she also helped. I think she helped a lot of people with ideas. She was all over the place. I love her. I love her so much. Everybody was just nice, and I mean, it was a beautiful experience. I won't forget it. My granddaughter really won't forget it because she's always wanted to meet Brother Ben. So yeah, that's what I think about it. It was great, and hopefully everybody will get to make it next time.
Yes, ma'am. Brother Abdullah on deck.
Family.
Walaikum salam.
Well, man, brother, I loved it. My daughter was so excited to meet Brother Ben. We actually got to meet together as a family in person, and it actually felt like a family. At the gala, we passed the food around like you would do at a family dinner. It was amazing. We got to take pictures with each other. I got to get called up. Brother Ben kept calling me up, making me share, and it just opened me up to the family. And it was more easier to open up to the family. Gave me pictures for my oils. I even sold oils at the gala. I got to meet Sister Gwen, Sister Farrah, Brother Roosevelt, King Cam. I got to meet everybody. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was totally amazing. And for everybody that didn't make it, I know y'all all will get out to make it to one of the events because we are family. And it feels like a family. We're going to learn a lot. And guess what, y'all? We are building wealthy family. Assalamu alaikum. And I enjoyed it. Thank you, Brother Ben. Thank you to everybody that was there. And thank you to everybody that will be there the next time.
Yes, sir. Walaikum salam. And then Sister Gwen.
Assalamu alaikum, family. How's everybody? I just want y'all to know, I think Friday night we was a little bit kind of nervous because, it was the first time seeing each other, putting faces to the pictures on the call. But then Saturday night, it was just amazing. It was amazing, Brother Ben, to meet you in person. Oh my God. I kept telling my children I wanted to meet you. I wanted to see you and to see Sister Farrah and to meet Sister Cynthia and see Sister Yolanda, all the brothers, Brother Young Khan. It felt like family. It felt like a family picnic, a family reunion, a family get together. And I can't wait for the next one and what we're going to do to get us there. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Love you.
Praise be to Allah. Sister Petra, I see you up there. Sister Petra was there. Brother Ankeen was there. I'm finna call them out, y'all. They acting like they wasn't there. I'm looking. Sister Lakeisha was there. Yeah, I'm finna call you out. Yeah, I ain't seen y'all person number one. Who else was up there?
I missed it to press number one, but I'll share real quick.
Okay, yeah, come on with it.
So I've never been to Dallas, so thank you for the experience. It was, as soon as I got off the plane, it felt like when I landed in Africa. Not to exaggerate, but it was like real hot. But it was really nice putting faces to names on here. The energy was great. It was super family style, so like it was comfortable, it wasn't awkward or nothing. It was just a beautiful experience, so I appreciate it. That's all.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for sharing. Sister Toranisa, I didn't see you down there.
Assalamu alaikum. All praises due to Allah. I and my daughter were so ecstatic to go. Last time I was in Dallas, we were at a meeting where we met. I met $1 million people. However, this time was different because they were on the stage and I was in the seat in the audience. This time I was able to break bread. The messenger teaches us, eat to live or suffer the consequences. The minister said, we are now suffering consequences because we are not eating to live. And we was able to eat to live mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and economically. It taught us so much. And the spirit and the energy was there. God was there with us. The food was amazing. I took part in that as well. And so I got to see behind the scenes that you guys don't see. And that was amazing, just to break bread and have friendship in all walks of life. I got an award. I got to be called on the stage. I was shocked with some of the stuff that I had to share. Paul, it was just family. And my daughter was extremely excited. You know, she got to be a part of it. The babies that was there, we can't underestimate what Allah has put into them and what they would get out of it. The children made friends, and that's important. We have to be able to bring our children to different affairs so that they could see what's going on, not just hear about it. They was able to be tangible pieces in that puzzle, and that was amazing. And so my daughter's like, you know, wanting to call Brother Ben's daughter. She hugged her. You know, I got to meet different people. And it was an amazing Brother Tay, the sisters, they all were amazing, and the spirit and the energy was warm welcoming. And Brother Ben, this was just bigger than a birthday, you know. And you talk about how you don't really celebrate your birthday because it's not just about a birthday. This was a birth anniversary for all of us to be able to gather together as one community and raise the awareness of how we can unify to make money, and not just for ourselves, but to pass it on. And the other persons that's a part of the group is a puzzle that's put together. We all need to come. I sacrificed my time and my energy to come. It took me a while to get there. It took me a while to get home. I used public transportation, but I knew I need to be there because Allah said, if you don't come, you will die. And die, I couldn't understand what Allah meant. And I experienced physical, I experienced economical, but I felt that it was going to be a mental death, and I could not afford to be mentally dead. And so that's why I came. And I just want to say thank you, Brother Ben, your team, those that you don't know that's behind the scenes that helped make it happen. It was necessary for us to be there, and I knew it was necessary for me to be there, and I made it happen, and it changed my life. So may Allah continue to bless each and every one of us. Those that came, those that prayed, you were there in spirit. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Brother Roosevelt.
Yes, sir.
Walaikum salam. You're not on Bluetooth, are you?
I'm not on mute. Can you hear me?
No, Bluetooth.
Yes.
Yeah, if you can come off Bluetooth, we can't really hear you when you're on Bluetooth.
Okay, yes, sir. It was great to meet up with everybody, and it was revelation that it wasn't just financially. It was it really showed that we were a family.
You went out.
Yes, so I'm gonna go ahead and get off because of the Bluetooth.
Say it again.
He was having technical issues.
Oh, okay. Okay, yes, ma'am. Sister Alexia, Sister Desiree, do y'all have anything that y'all would like to share? Y'all don't have to, but if y'all say it one more time. Yeah, we can't really hear you. Bluetooth don't like the power call. Sister Alexia.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Okay, so the weekend was everything. I'm still on a high. Super excited about everything. It was just amazing to see everyone and see everything manifest. When it comes to growth, I think of a seed, and with that seed, it has to get planted in soil, but it doesn't grow up only. It grows down and up. And so when you plant a seed, it fights with the soil and it fights to strive to go down and get those roots deep, deep. And there it's in darkness, it's fighting, it's struggling. But after all that, it sprouts. And so a lot of times we only see the sprouting, the success, the fame, the beauty, the accolades, but we don't see what goes on underneath the soil. And so BWF is just a representative of that sprouting. And so I'm grateful to be able to have been a part of that experience, to know that we're doing some amazing work. And another thing that I wanted to add is that, Brother Ben, you personally, I look to you as an animal which is called the pronghorn. And for those of you that don't know the pronghorn, I'm about to explain it in, just a few seconds. But in the animal world, they say the fastest animal is a cheetah, but the fastest animal when it comes to a sprint is a cheetah. The fastest animal when it comes to a marathon or long term is a pronghorn because they'll win every single time. And so it's not about the fast wins, it's about the slow wins because that is what the growth is. That's what the process is. That's what wealth is overall. And I think for you, Brother Ben, you've been such an inspiration and you don't realize how much of an impact you make. You remind me of a minister because you have the heart and gift of mercy, and you don't realize what you do. Like in the book where he was talking about how he was playing with the marbles, that's who you remind me of. You remind me so much of the minister, and I can say all this now because I'm not on stage. I'm not put on a spot. I'm not on camera because I just left the gym, but you remind me so much of him, and the work that you're doing is necessary and it's touching so many people's lives, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger, and it's going to expand throughout the world. And this is just the beginning, so I'm just excited to see everything that's going on, and I'm excited for all the people coming in, people learning the teachings. Like, you're actually really bringing families together, people from all walks of life. They know who the minister is. They know who the teaching, they know who Master Prophet Muhammad is, Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They know who the Nation of Islam is through you. So don't think that what you're doing is just, like, you're doing an amazing work and you're so humble. And I mean, you just my brother, and I love you. And I'm just grateful to be a part of the team. So praise be to Allah. I'll end it there.
Praise be to Allah. Thank everybody for sharing. Thank everybody for coming. And for me, it was an amazing weekend. Yesterday, I kind of got a little emotional. Didn't no tears come out. It'd be hard to get the tears to come out. But I got emotional because yesterday I was thinking, man, I said, man, I feel like I do at the end of Savior's Day. When you know how you be there and you don't want it to end. I was sitting there about to make a post and I was like, man, I don't want it to end. I was looking forward to the next day and seeing everybody and seeing Sister Gwen and her saying, I'm your number one fan. So seeing Sister Tornisa, seeing her daughter, and just seeing everybody finally in person. And honestly, man, I didn't feel like I had to be that introvert in the shell. I didn't feel that way. I felt like I really, really knew you all. So I didn't have to be, let me be in the corner on my phone. I felt like I was really around my family. And that was huge for me, man. To see so many people there. I didn't know how many people were going to really come. I know there was some of you all who had intentions on coming, but you just couldn't make it. But I was like, man, because we was preparing for 100 people, and they was like, well, how many gonna come? And I was like, then it was like, well, 40. And I was like, oh, Lord, there's going to be a lot of empty seats. And then once we really got there, man, and we looked at the dinner table, it was like, man, really almost all of them was filled. I was like, wow, look at this. And then the time span the time span in which we really did this, many event planners would be surprised how long we really had to do this. It was just an idea of mine. Hey man, we're gonna do this idea. I told the team about it. We pooled our resources, pooled our monies together. We split this, we split that, we did this, we was on Zoom. Y'all don't know, we was on countless Zoom calls to put this together, y'all. We was on this Zoom. We was on this Zoom. Sister Alexia getting with Brother Marquand, and Brother Marquand getting with this. And then hey, can y'all do this? And then, hey, when we get there, Sister Alexia and Sister Desiree, they ain't even know. We was like, well, can they help out with the door? I asked them, hey, can y'all able to do that? Yeah. Okay, we're going to put them on the check. And then it was like, oh my goodness, it was really, really, really a lot behind the scenes that made that happen. And it was just like, they was like, next time, Brother Ben, we're gonna have to do this in 8 months. It was a lot. So I thank everybody behind the scenes, man. Sister Courtney, Sister Alexia really, really did a great job, because as founders, they was really almost like the event executors. You know what I mean? So that's something you guys didn't know. I mean, they didn't just come show up. Sister Courtney was down there having her team get the banner together. She was going there early. Sister Alexis was going there early, and Brother Marquand, and then Sister Tornisa, when I heard her story, how the food got made, she was like, oh my goodness, because of what I knew of my salon, when the electricity and the stove, and then they had this, and then I had to do this, and then I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't even know all this for them carrots to be made. And all. So it's just so many people. And as Sister Tornisa was telling me that story about the food, I said, look at Allah. What she went through probably decades ago or years ago with her salon prepare her for this day. I thought to myself, imagine if, because of the public transportation she mentioned, what if she wasn't able to get there? Well, would the food have been what the food would be? Because what she was able to improvise and know from her salon was the reason the food was able to be prepared for us and get to us the way that it did. I said, man, look at how everything just came and was put together. So that was an amazing event, man. And obviously, it's really special to me because we was rebuilding. And let me say this, not rebuilding BWO. Rebuilding what was God's mission and the people. Because this is new. Yeah, this right here is something new. All centered by God. The foundation is God. I talked about it a little bit, and I know we got to get on because we're gonna hop on with Brother Tay at 9. But this is new because in the beginning, it was like, okay, we're going to do financial courses, bring it together, and then we're going to add on to the tribe, the spiritual part and the personal development part. But I said, no, this time, as God brought this together, the first thing that was built was the power call. I didn't know what we was building, but the first thing was the power call, and then everything was added on as an asset to the foundation, which is the power call, spiritual development, personal development. So I said, man, the way this thing is coming together, this is something new. This is a new spirit. This is a new energy. When you come together in person, man, it's just all love. It feel like family. It feel like that's your auntie right there. That's your uncle right there. That's your granny right there. That's what this really felt like. And I can't wait for us to do this next year. We're gonna give y'all a little bit more time next year. Blame me. Yeah, blame me. I'm a last minute type of person. So it's my fault. It's me. I didn't give us a lot of time to prepare. But next time I got some help now. Now we can let y'all know a year in advance, 6 months in advance, 8 months in advance. So y'all can really prepare. And the next time we'll have more people there. And it'll be, y'all know it'll be more better. Y'all, it's gonna be more better next time, okay? All right. We don't have much time, so let's get to this reading. Let me see how much I gotta read though. Good God, oh my. Okay, I got a lot. We may not get through all the steps for change. Okay, we might not get through all of them. So what we're gonna talk about today there are 4 key elements of change. Now, we've been talking about Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, this book, and reprogramming our mind. So now let's get focused. Let's get your pens out. Let's get your paper out. Let's get your note taken out, because today we're going to talk about the 4 key elements of change, okay? Page 24. There are 4 key elements of change, each of which is essential in reprogramming your financial blueprint. They are simple, but profoundly powerful. The first element of change is awareness. The first key element of change is awareness. You can't change something unless you know it exists. The second element of change is understanding. By understanding where your way of thinking originates, you can recognize that it has to come from outside of you. The third element of change is disassociation. Once you realize this way of thinking isn't you, you can separate yourself from it and choose in the present whether to keep it or let it go, based on who you are today and where you want to be tomorrow. You can observe this way of thinking and see it for what it is, a file of information that was stored in your mind a long, long time ago and may not hold any truth or value for you anymore. The fourth element of change is reconditioning. We will begin this process in part 2 of this book, where we will introduce you to the mental files that generate wealth. Should you want to take this a step further, I invite you to the seminar, where you will be led through a series of powerful experimental techniques that will rewrite your subconscious on a cellular and permanent level, retraining your mind to respond supportively in the terms of money and success. The elements of frequency and ongoing support are also important for lasting change to occur. Every 7 days you receive, okay, that's something else. Meanwhile, let's go back to our discussion on verbal conditioning and the steps you can take now to begin revising your money blueprint. All right, so here go the practical steps. We're on the practical steps now. We're talking about the first key element of change, which is verbal programming. So it says awareness. Write down all the statements you heard about money, wealth, and rich people when you were young. Now, obviously, don't do it right now because you ain't got time to do that. But after the power call, and those of you all who are part of BWF, after the 9 a.m. call, the market call with Brother Tay, do this. Write down all the statements you heard about money. Then understanding. Write down how you believe these statements have affected your financial life so far. And then number 3, disassociation. Can you see that these thoughts represent only what you learned and are not part of your anatomy and not who you are? Can you see that you have a choice in the present moment to be different? Now we're going to do a declaration. Place your hand over your heart and say, what I heard about money isn't necessarily true. I choose to adopt new ways of thinking that support my happiness and success. Again, what I heard about money isn't necessarily true. I choose to adapt new ways of thinking that support my happiness and success. Then we're going to touch our head and say, I have a millionaire mind. I have a millionaire mind. I have a millionaire mind. Number 2, the second influence is modeling. The second way we are conditioned is called modeling. What were your parents or guardians like in the arena of money when you were growing up? Did one or both of them manage their money well, or did they mismanage it? Were they spenders or savers? Were they shrewd investors or were they non-investors? Were they risk takers or conservative? Was money consistently there or was the flow more sporadic? Did money come easily in your family or was it always a struggle? Was money a source of joy in your household or the cause of bitter arguments? Why is this information important? You've probably heard the saying, monkey see, monkey do. Well, humans aren't far behind. As kids, or children, we would say, we learn just about everything from modeling. Although most of us would hate to admit it, there's more than a grain of truth in the old saying, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. This reminds me of a story about a woman who prepares a ham for dinner by cutting off both ends. Her bewildered husband asks why she cuts off the ends. She replies, "That's how my mom cooked it." Well, it just so happened that her mom was coming from dinner that night. So they asked her why she cut off the ends of the ham. Mom replies, "That's how my mom cooked it." So they decide to call grandma on the phone and ask why she cut off the ends of the ham. Her answer, "Because my pan was too small." The point is that generally speaking, we tend to be identical to one or a combination of our parents in the arena of money. For example, my dad was an entrepreneur. He was in the home building business. He built anywhere from a dozen to 100 homes per project. Each project took a huge amount of capital investment. My dad would have to put up everything we had and borrow heavily from the bank until the homes were sold and the cash came through. Consequently, at the beginning of each project, we had no money and were in debt up to our eyeballs. As you can imagine, during this period, my dad was not in the best of moods, nor was generosity his strong suit. If I had asked him for anything that cost even a penny, his standard reply after the usual, "What am I made of? Made of money?" was, "Are you crazy?" Of course, I wouldn't get a dime, but what I would get was that "don't even think of asking again" glare. I'm sure you know the one. This scenario would last for about a year or two until the homes were finally sold. Then we'll be rolling in dough. All of a sudden, my dad was a different person. He'll be happy, kind, extremely generous. He'd come over and ask me if I needed a few bucks. I felt like giving him his glare back, but I wasn't that stupid. So I just said, "Sure, Dad, thanks," and rolled my eyes. Life was good until that dreaded day when he had come home and announced, "I found a good piece of land. We're going to build again." I distinctly remember saying, "Great, Dad, great luck," as my heart sank, knowing the struggle that was about to unfold again. This pattern lasted from the time I could remember, when I was about 6 until the age of 21, when I moved out of my parents' house for good. Then it stopped, or so I thought. At 21 years of age, I finished school and became, you guessed it, a builder. I then went on to several other types of project-based businesses. For some strange reason, I'd make a small fortune, but just a short time later, I'd be broke. I'd get into another business and believe I was on top of the world again, only to hit bottom a year later. This up and down pattern went on for 10 years before I realized that maybe the problem wasn't the type of business I was choosing, the partners I was choosing, the employees I had, the state of economy, or my decisions to take time off and relax when things were going well. I finally realized that maybe, just maybe, I was unconsciously reliving my dad's up and down income pattern. All I can say is, thank goodness I learned what you're learning in this book and was able to recondition myself out of that yo-yo model into having a consistently growing income. Today, the urge to change when things are going well and to sabotage myself in the process still comes up. But now there's another file in my mind that observes this feeling and says, "Thank you for sharing. Now let's get refocused and back to work. Another example comes from one of my seminars from Orlando. As usual, people were filling up to the stage one by one to get an autograph and say hello or thank you or whatever. I'll never forget one older gentleman because he came up sobbing. He could barely catch his breath and kept wiping his tears with his sleeve. I asked him what was wrong. He said, I'm 63 years old and I've been reading books and going to seminars since they were invented. I've seen every speaker and tried everything they taught. I've tried stocks, real estate, been in over a dozen different businesses. I went back to the university and got my MBA. I've got more knowledge than 10 average men, yet I've never made it financially. I'd always get a good start, but end up empty-handed. And in all those years, I never knew why. I thought I must just be plain old stupid until today. Finally, after listening to you and doing the processes, it all makes sense. There's nothing wrong with me. I just had my dad's money blueprint stuck in my head, and that's been my nemesis. My dad went through the heart of the Depression era. Every day he would try getting jobs or selling things and come home empty-handed. I wish I would have understood modeling and money patterns 40 years ago. What a waste of time. All that learning and knowledge has been, he began to cry even harder. I replied, no way is your knowledge a waste of time. It has just been latent, waiting in a mind bank, waiting for the opportunity to come out. Now that you've formulated a success blueprint, everything you've ever learned will become usable and you will skyrocket to success. For most of us, when we hear the truth, we know it. He started to lighten up and began breathing deeply again. Then a big grin came across his face. He gave me the biggest hug and said, thank you, thank you, thank you. Last I heard from him, everything was booming. He has accumulated more wealth in the last 18 months than in the past 18 years combined. I love it. Again, you have all the knowledge and skills in the world, but if your blueprint isn't set for success, you're financially doomed. How many of y'all young when I young? When we often get seminar participants whose parents were involved in World War II or who lived through the Depression. These people are often in shock when they realize how much their parents' experiences have influenced their beliefs and habits about money. Some spend like crazy because you could easily lose all your money, so you might as well enjoy it while you can. Others go the opposite route. They hoard their money and save for a rainy day. A word of wisdom: saving for a rainy day might sound like a good idea, but it can create big problems. One of the principles we teach in another of our courses is the power of intention. If you are saving your money for a rainy day, what are you going to get? Rainy days. Stop doing that. Instead of saving for a rainy day, focus on saving for a joyous day or for the day you win your financial freedom. Then by virtue of law of intention, that's exactly what you'll get. Earlier, we said that most of us tend to be identical to one or both parents in the arena of money. But there's also the flip side of the coin. Some of us end up being exactly the opposite of one or both of those parents. Why would that happen? Do the words anger and rebellion ring a bell? In short, it just depends on how ticked off you were at them. Unfortunately, as little kids, we can't say to our parents, Mom and Dad, have a seat. I'd like to discuss something with you. I'm not fond of the way you're managing your money or, for that matter, your lives. And therefore, when I become an adult, I'll be doing things quite differently. I hope you understand. Good night now and pleasant dreams. No. It doesn't go quite that way. Instead, when our buttons are pushed, we generally freak out. And what comes out sounds more like, I hate you. I'll never be like you when I grow up. I'm going to be rich. Then I'll get whatever I want, whether you like it or not. Then we run to our bedroom, slam the door, and start pounding pounding our pillow, or whatever else is at hand to vent our frustration. Many people who come from poor families become angry and rebellious about it. Often they either go out and get rich or at least have the motivation to do so. But there's one little hiccup, which is actually a big burp. Whether such people get rich or work their buns off trying to become successful, they are not usually happy. Watch this, y'all. This is deep. When I first read this was deep. So let me start over. Whether such people get rich or work their buns off trying to become successful, they are not usually happy. Why? Because the root of their wealth or motivation for money is anger and resentment. So I want us to think, why do I want to become wealthy? Why am I striving to become rich? Does it have a negative motivation or a positive motivation? That was deep. Consequently, money and anger become linked in their minds. And the more money such individuals have or strive for, the angrier they get. Eventually, the higher self says, I'm tired of being angry and stressed out. I just want to be peaceful and happy. So they ask the same mind that created the link what to do about this situation, to which their mind answers, if you want to get rid of your anger, you're going to have to get rid of your money. So they do. They subconsciously get rid of their money. They overspend or make a poor investment decision or get a financially distraught divorce, or they sabotage their success in some other way. But no matter, because now these folks are happy. Right? Wrong. Things are even worse because now they're not just angry, they're broke and angry. They got rid of the wrong thing. Ooh, we getting deep now, y'all. Somebody, I don't know if somebody experienced this, y'all, but this is deep. They got rid of the money instead of the anger, the fruit instead of the root. Meanwhile, the real issue is, and always was, the anger between them and their parents. And until that anger is resolved, they would never be truly happy or peaceful, regardless of how much money they have or don't have. The reason or motivation you have for making money or creating success is vital. If your motivation for acquiring money or success comes from a non-supportive root, such as fear, anger, or the need to prove yourself, your money will never bring you happiness. Wealth principle. If your motivation for acquiring money or success comes from a non-supportive root, such as fear, anger, or the need to prove yourself, your money will never bring you happiness. Why? Because you can't solve any of these issues with money. Take fear, for instance. During my seminars, I asked the audience, how many of you would cite fear as your primary motivation for success? Not many people put their hands up. However, then I asked, how many of you would cite security as one of your main motivators for success? Almost everyone puts his or her hand up. But get this, security and fear are both motivated by the same thing. Seeking security comes from insecurity, which is based in fear. Ooh, it's getting deep, man. Y'all, man, is y'all getting this? So, will more money dissolve the fear? You wish. Watch this, y'all. Now, this is really heavy. I want to say this because some of you have a job right now, probably out of fear or security. Some of you have a business or you don't have a business because of fear and this security thing. So watch this. Because money is not the root of the problem, fear is. When what's even worse is that fear is not just a problem, it's a habit. Therefore, making more money will only change the kind of fear we have. This is the part that stuck out to me as well when I first read this. This is key, right? Because you may grow up in a household where you didn't have a lot of money. You wasn't able to get a lot of things. You know, the economy was bad. So something happened to you and your family when the economy hit. So you make money out of fear. I got to make a lot of money. I got to get me a job. I got to start me a business, right? Watch this, y'all. When we were broke, we were most likely afraid we'd never make it or never have enough. Watch this. Once we make it, however, our fear usually changes to, what if I lose what I've made? So you still not free. You still living in fear. You just got a lot of money and now you're fearing in the back of your head, what if I lose it? What if I lose it? I'm going to go back. So you still have that anxiety. You still have that, you don't feel like you're living in the present due to the fear. It's still there. Or everyone's going to want what I have, or I'm going to get creamed in taxes. In short, until we get to the root of this issue and dissolve the fear, no amount of money will help. Wow, that's deep, ain't it, man? As we talk about building wealthy families and y'all learn how to trade and y'all learn digital real estate and y'all learn business, this is the foundation that y'all want to get in place before we start to learn all these different tactics that y'all gonna learn in building wealthy families with us. Because y'all can come and y'all can learn and y'all can grow and y'all can, but if your mind it has a root that you haven't got to, you still not gonna be happy. Now, as we hear this, believers, I wonder if y'all see why auditing is so important. I wonder if we see now why the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan pointing us in that direction is very, very wise. Because we talking about money today, but everything we reading in here are principles. These principles can be applied to every other area of our life. We can apply it to a relationship. Are you getting in that relationship out of fear, out of insecurity, out of this, out of that? Well, no matter how good the person is, I'm now afraid of losing them. See? So if you're doing something and you're getting into something out of insecurity, sometimes it don't matter what happens, good or bad. Oh man, that's revelation. As I'm reading this right now, and I said that's revelation. Sometimes it don't matter what you do. If the other person has a root that they haven't dealt with, it don't matter if you good or bad. If you haven't got you together and you keep thinking it's the other person, well, guess what? It really don't matter if they good or bad, if it's an insecurity, because if you start doing good, they're going to start to have the insecurity. I don't want to lose this. What if I lose this? Da-da-da-da-da. Sister Courtney got me saying da-da-da-da-da. That's so funny. But yeah, that's crazy, ain't it, man? Woo, that's a paradigm shift. Man, we're going to have to, I done lost where I was now, boy. Look at this. In short, until we get to the root of this issue and dissolve the fear, no amount of money will help. Of course, given a choice, most of us will rather worry about having money and losing it than not having money at all, but neither are overly enlightened ways to live. Yeah, or what others think about me. As with those of us driven by fear, many people are motivated to achieve financial success to prove they are good enough. We'll cover that challenge in detail in part 2 of this book. But for now, just realize that no amount of money can ever make you good enough. Money can't make you something you already are. Ooh, that's a bar there, boy. Accept your own and be yourself. Look at that. No amount of money can ever make you good enough. Money can't make you something you already are. Again, as with fear, the always having to prove yourself issue becomes your habitual way of living. You don't even recognize it's running you. You call yourself a high achiever, a hard driver, determined, and all these traits are fine. The only question is, why? What is the root engine that drives all of this? For people who are driven to prove they are good enough, no amount of money can ease the pain of that inner wound that makes everything and everyone in their life not enough. No amount of money or anything else, for that matter, will ever be enough for people who feel they are not good enough themselves. Ooh, wait. Knowledge itself. Did not the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'm gonna bring it back home. Did not the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say knowledge of self is the prerequisite of all other knowledge? See, this is important. This is important. If you don't fall in love with yourself and get a better knowledge of self and fix self, bro, all the knowledge, all this other knowledge that you're going to get, it's not going to really make you what God really wants you to be. This is so cool, man, reading now other books and seeing on a deeper level the simple things that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says to us. See, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was short and sweet, concise, but I mean, he give you the truth. But when they go into it and talk about the science and the explanation of it, it makes you say, whoa, that's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was talking about. He was simple with it, but this, it makes you say, here go an example of it. Oh, that's what it looks like. Wow. So, again, it's all about you. Remember, your inner world reflects your outer world. If you believe you are not enough, you will validate that belief and create the reality that you don't have enough. I pause because that reminds me of something. Didn't we just hear the minister say? No, not in his 90th birthday. Y'all probably still gonna remember it. During the Swan Song, man, the Swan Song feel like yesterday, but that was what? That was 2 years ago, 4 years ago, huh? Man, that seemed like it was yesterday. But he said, if you change your perspective on life, what did he say, y'all? He said, you will be more happy. He said something about if you just change your value, what you value, or your perspective on life. And then this says, if you believe you are not enough, you will validate that belief and create the reality that you don't have enough. So no matter what you have, you won't have enough because of the perspective you viewing it from. You will always feel like you don't have enough. And then it says, on the other hand, if you believe you are plenty, you will validate that belief and create plenty of abundance. Wow, so it's crazy that even our life reflects what you think about you. And it's easy because I know what some of us, but I do believe it. I believe I'm the black man. I'm the Asiatic black man. Yeah. I know you know your student enrollment, but what do you really think about yourself subconsciously? Oh yeah, I know you believe what the minister said, we gods, and we the cream of the planet Earth. Oh, and we direct descendants of God. Yeah, you've been hearing that. But what do you believe about yourself really? Subconsciously. Not the remembering it and being able to regurgitate the supreme wisdom. That's good. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's get that in our hearts. But What do you really believe about yourself when you look in that mirror subconsciously? Because that's who you really are, and what's going to really be reflected in our life. What's really in the back of there. If you believe you are plenty, you will validate that belief and create plenty of abundance. Why? Because plenty will be your root, which will then become your natural way of being. By unlinking your money motivation from anger, fear, and the need to prove yourself, you can install new links for earning your money through purpose, contribution, and joy. That way, you will never have to get rid of your money to be happy. Being a rebel or the opposite of your parents is not always a problem. To the contrary, if you are a rebel, often the case with second-born children, and your folks had poor money habits, it's probably a good thing that you are their opposite. On the other hand, if your parents were successful and you're rebelling against them, you could be in for serious financial difficulties. Either way, what's important is to recognize how your way of being relates to one or both of your parents in the arena of money. Steps for change, part 2, modeling, awareness. Consider the way of being and habits each of your parents had around money and wealth. Write down how you may be identical or opposite to either of them. Understanding. Write down the effect this modeling had on your financial life. Disassociation. Can you see this way of being is only what you learned and isn't you? Can you see you have a choice in the present moment to be different? Place your hand over your heart and say, what I modeled around money was their way. I choose my way. Say it again. What I modeled around money was their way. I choose my way. Touch your head. I have a millionaire mind. I have a millionaire mind. I have a millionaire mind. The third influence, specific experiences. The third primary way in which we are conditioned is by specific incidents. What did you experience when you were young around money, wealth, and rich people? These experiences are extremely important because they shape the beliefs, or rather the illusions, you now live by. Let me give you an example. A woman who was an operating room nurse attended the seminar. Josie had an excellent income, but somehow she always spent all of her money. When we dug a little deeper, she revealed that when she was 11 years old, she remembers being at a Chinese restaurant with her parents and her sister. Her mom and dad were having yet another bitter argument about money. Her dad was standing up, screaming and slamming his fists on the table. She remembers him turning red, then blue, then falling to the floor from a heart attack. She was on the swim team at school and had CPR training, which she administered, but to no avail. Her father died in her arms. And so from that day forth, Josie's mind linked money with pain. It's no wonder then that as an adult, she subconsciously got rid of all her money in an effort to get rid of her pain. Wow. Look at how this thing is linked, y'all. It's also interesting to note that she became a nurse. Why? Is it possible that she was still trying to save her dad? At the course, we help Josie identify her old money blueprint and revise it. Today, she's well on her way to become financially free. She's also not a nurse anymore. Not that she didn't enjoy her job. It's just that She was in the nursing profession for the wrong reason. She's now a financial planner, still helping people, but this time one-on-one to understand how their past programming runs every aspect of their financial lives. Let me give you another example of a specific incident, one that's closer to home. When my wife was 8 years old, she would hear the clanging bells of the ice cream truck coming down the street. She would run to her mom and ask for a quarter. Her mom would reply, "Sorry, dear, I don't have any money. Go ask Dad. Dad's got all the money." My wife would then go ask her dad. He'd give her a quarter. She'd go get her ice cream cone, and she was happy. Week after week, the same incident will repeat itself. So what did my wife learn about money? First, that men have all the money. So once we got married, what do you think she expected of me? That's right, money. And I'll tell you what, she wasn't asking for quarters anymore. Somehow she graduated. Second, she learned that women don't have money. If her mom, the deity, didn't have money, obviously this is the way she should be. To validate the way of being, she would subconsciously get rid of all her money. I want to stop right there and point out something he keeps saying: to validate, to validate, to validate. And it makes me think that something is, whatever is in your head that you believe subconsciously, you're going to do things and put yourselves in position to validate it. So what is in your mind? Like, seriously. What are those things in your mind that you say, I can't do, and you wonder why people say, stop saying that, stop saying that. The power's in the tongue. Because whatever you're really, really, really thinking, now you can come up here and say, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great. But if subconsciously you don't believe that, you can say that all day long. But you're going to validate what's really here. So you'll create an argument. You will invest in the wrong business. You'll put yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time to validate who you are, what you believe you are. Engrams, right? Man, see how this all coming together, man? This is deep. She was quite precise about it too. If you gave her $100, she'd spend $100. If you gave her $200, she'll spend $200. If you gave her $500, she'll spend $500. And if you gave her $1,000, she'll spend $1,000. Then she took one of my courses and learned all about the art of leverage. I gave her $2,000. She spent $10,000. I tried to explain, no, honey, leverage means we're the ones who are supposed to get the tens of thousands of dollars, not spend it. Somehow it just wasn't sinking in. The only thing we ever fought about was money. It almost cost us our marriage. What we didn't know at the time was that the meanings of each of us attribute to money were radically different. To my wife, money meant immediate pleasure, as in enjoying her ice cream. I, on the other hand, grew up with the belief that money was meant to be accumulated as the means to create freedom. As far as I was concerned, whenever my wife spent money, she wasn't spending money. She was spending our future freedom. And as far as she was concerned, whenever I held back from spending, I was taking away her pleasure in life. Man, this is deep, man. So I need to do this because there's something about me when I want something. If I got the money, I want to get it now. I don't want to wait. I want it right now. And I need to figure out where that come from. Because I be mad, man. I see something on YouTube. Like I just wrote, y'all seen me probably in my story. I wrote that Riker. It's called a Riker, little 3-reel thing. And I want it now. And in my mind, if I want it, I can get it. But I might not. I ain't in a position to get it right now. But it's like, but if I have it, I got to get it. And if I get the amount of money, I want to get it, even if it's not a financial good position. Man, where'd that come from? I need to figure that out because I'd be like, man, I got to get this. I don't want, why I need to wait? I can die tomorrow. Where does that come from? I'll figure it out. As far as I was concerned, oh, I just read that. Thank goodness we learned how to revise each of our money blueprints and more importantly, create a third money blueprint specifically for the relationship. Okay, so then I'm gonna skip that little thing. Does all this work? Let me put it this way. I've witnessed 3 miracles in my life. The birth of my daughter, the birth of my son, my wife and I not fighting about money anymore. I'm about to hold on. I need to go get my charger. If y'all don't mind, I need to go get my charger. So I'll be right back. Yeah, I'll be right back. Let me go get this charger for this thing die on y'all. I'll be right back. I don't want to keep y'all. I wish I had a little shorter video because I don't want to play the long video. But y'all good. Just wait. It is the sweetest name. All right, I think my book, I lost the page that I was on. Okay, here we go. We back. Whew. All right, here we go. Statistics show that the number one cause of all relationship breakups is money. The biggest reason behind the fights people have about money is not the money itself, but the mismatch of their blueprints. It doesn't matter how much money you have or don't have. If your blueprint doesn't match that of the person you're dealing with, you will have a major challenge. This goes for married couples, dating couples, family relationships, and even business associates. The key is to comprehend that you are dealing with blueprints, not money. Wow, that's deep. Once you recognize a person's money blueprint, you can deal with your partner in a way that works for both of you. You can begin to become aware that your partner's money files are probably not the same as yours. Instead of getting upset, choose understanding. Do your best to find out what's important to your partner in the area of money and identify his or her motivations and fears. In this way, you'll be dealing with the roots instead of the fruits and have a good shot of making it work. Otherwise, no way, Jose. One of the most important things you will learn, should you decide to attend the seminar, is how you recognize your partner's money blueprint, as well as how to create a brand new blueprint between both of you that helps you as partners get what you really want. It is truly a blessing to be able to do this, as it alleviates one of the biggest causes of pain for most people. Steps for change, specific incidents. Here's an exercise you can do with your partner. Sit down and discuss the history each of you brings to your thoughts about money. What you heard when you were young, what was modeled in your family, and any emotional incidents that occurred. Also, find out what money really means to your partner. Is it pleasure or freedom or security or status? This will assist you in identifying each other's current money blueprint and may help you discover why you might be disagreeing in this arena. Next, discuss what you want today, not as individuals, but as partnership. Decide and agree upon your general goals and attitudes with regard to money and success. Then create a list of these attitudes and actions you both agree to live by and write them down. Post them on the wall. And if ever there's an issue, gently, very gently, remind each other what you decided together when you were both objective, unemotional, and outside the grip of your old money blueprints. Pretty good stuff. Awareness. Consider a specific emotional incident you experienced around money when you were young. Understanding. Write down how this incident may have affected your current financial life. Disassociation. Can you see this way of being is only what you learned and isn't you? Can you see you have a choice in the present moment to be different? Declaration. Place your hand over your heart and say, I release my non-supportive money experiences from the past and create a new and rich future. Again, I release my non-supportive money experiences from the past and create a new and rich future. Touch your head and say, I have a millionaire mind. I have a millionaire mind. I have a millionaire mind. So we're going to end off right there. And we're going to go to feedback for the last 30 minutes of this. But I know this probably stood out for somebody. This was deep, man, because this applies to so many areas of your life outside of money. This was really good. So if you have anything that you would like to share, something that stood out specifically for you, and don't be shy, y'all, because again, there are some things that was read today that stood out for you for a reason that somebody else it didn't stand out for and they just missed it. So when you share it, they say, man, I missed that part. Thank you for sharing that. So if anything stood out for you that you want to share, press the number 1 at this time. We want to hear from you all what was standing out for y'all. Press the number 1. Let us know what was standing out for you. Let's start off with Sister Gwen.
Brother Ben, I have ruined my children. I see this. My kids I got a divorce, so I became a single parent. I work night shift. So my kids tell me all the time, and they're in their 30s, that I bought them. And I did. Because I felt guilty about not having that 2-parent household that I started with, because nobody gets married and say, I'm going to get a divorce in 10, 15 years. So I bought them anything they wanted because I had to work to make sure, there goes my money habits, to make sure that we had a place to stay. I done had my lights cut off before in this time period. I done had the phone cut off before in this time period. I had the gas cut off. So I bought them. I did. Of anything they wanted. If I couldn't afford it, that's okay. I would take the bill money. That's why my lights got cut off. To buy them what they wanted to keep them, I guess, my mind, to keep them happy.
Right.
So now I look at them and they're all in their 30s and they all have different ideas about money. My daughter is a hoarder to a point where she keeps all of her money until she wants something big, and then she'll spend it. My youngest son, as fast as he gets it, it's gone. My oldest son, he kind of in between the two. And listening to you read this morning, I see where they got it from. So now I need to go back and see if I can get them to understand where their money ideas came from. It came from me. And I apologize. I'm going to apologize to them. I've apologized to them before, and this is making me emotional because I don't like the way that this is feeling to me. But it's something I got to deal with because my money habits didn't come until I became an adult. I got everything I wanted as a kid from my dad. I was a daddy's girl, but they didn't have a dad. Their dad was not in the picture. So I felt like I had to make up for the lack that they didn't have. That's all. Thank you, sir.
Man, but look at that. You grew up getting everything that you wanted. So that's the blueprint that you have. I want to make sure mine get everything that they wanted, even at the expense of me. Ooh, or us. Lights. That's important, man. That's so deep, man. See how this thing can help us? Because now she can go back and say, hey, I discovered something. I discovered something about me that may be affecting y'all so that y'all don't affect the grandchildren. See how this thing, man, this is all a part of building wealthy families, going back and seeing what the root of this is. And as you were speaking, and I heard the emotion coming up, a video came to my mind that I want to share from the minister, because some of you all may not press the number one, but you feel like Sister Gwen too. You say, damn, I see where I affected my child. I see where I see how that affected my grandchildren. They done passed this down to my man. Well, I'm here to say that it's not your fault. It's not our fault. We got it from someone too. Scripture says, how will they know lest they be taught? See? And we don't know lest we have a teacher that would teach us and would show us. But the good part of this is, to put a smile back on our face, is that we got a chance to change it today. Oh, we got a chance and a choice to change it today, because there's some people, they'll never read this. They'll never understand what we understanding today. So their children is perpetuating that through generation and generation and generation and generation, and they have no idea why they are like they are about money. It's some people right now today that are probably poor, broke, homeless, not because they're not powerful, not because they don't have a skill set, not because they don't have value, but because of a blueprint that was passed down to themselves that they couldn't get to the root of, because they didn't know it was a root. They didn't know that there was a way to go back and change this way of thinking. And it's just going and going and going. And so the good side is, hey, man, now we know. We know, we done identified it, we done realized it, and man, I'm finna make a change in my family. Oh, but look at what the minister said right here. Look at this.
We as parents who love our children, but we make mistakes, say to your son and your daughter, look, son, daughter, is there anything that I have said or done that offended you that I need to ask your forgiveness for? And then don't try to defend yourself. Just listen to your children. And should they tell you what they've been wanting to tell you, then you just be quiet. And if you hear truth coming out of their mouths, don't you say, well, look, I'm your mother. They know that. Tell your child, sweetheart, I am sorry. And I'll do my best to never let that happen again.
Deep. Deep, just that short clip. Deep, man. Man. Ooh, this is heavy, man. This is heavy. Let's go to Sister Shalon.
Okay, so yes, greetings everyone. I'm so glad that everyone made it back home safely and had a beautiful time. Okay, so this here was really right on time for me, because it's my mentality about money and how I use and spend what comes in, because I'm not working right now, but I do have a source of income that's coming in. But the way that I spend it is is really, to me, as I'm seeing this and hearing this, is kind of careless. It opened my eyes now that I have to pay much more attention to how I handle what I do have until greater comes. But because of the conditioning and me now knowing that I have to disassociate myself and my mental thinking with regard to it growing up, because I grew up with my great grandparents, because my mom was out there, my grandmother had passed away early, so with my great grandparents having whatever it was that they had, they held on to it so tightly, and there was barely anything that was given as what we would do, give our children, what is it, allowance, or just a little bit of money here and there to go out and about to do things with. There was none of that growing up, and all I kept hearing was money doesn't grow on trees. That's been stuck in my head for far too long. So now I know now because of listening at this, and thank you for bringing this to us. I've read this book before with us in the tribe, but to hear things again that I didn't hear before was an awakening for me. So I'm grateful for it. I do have to budget better and pay much more attention to how I use what I have so that I don't mismanage and miss out on things because of mismanagement, or just the I don't want to use the word like, I'm not going to put that word out there, but I'm grateful for this. I now know that I have to disassociate and become more understanding and much more aware, and totally recondition myself with regard to finances so that I can be prepared when the more comes aboard. So thank you for this. And thank you for Sister Gwen, because I felt every bit of what you said, because I've experienced that with the divorce. Because when that divorce came and it was totally on me, and I had to go out and find work, I was so devastated because I was used to being cared for and provided for. So now that I have to do it on my own, it put another mindset with me with regard to money. So I have quite a number of areas where I have to recondition myself, especially for me to prepare for the change that's coming. So thank you, Brother Ben, for this one.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Also, those of you all who are in the power call, and those of you all who are in the building wealthy families. Now, if you're in building wealthy families and the power call, uh, just do it on both sides. Just copy and paste. But don't forget to share your testimony, written testimony, because there's obviously hundreds of people who's not on these calls with us in the morning, and everybody's not going to go back and watch an hour and all that type of stuff, right? So if y'all don't mind, when we get off of here, write down, what did you get? What did you get out of the power call? What did you get out of this morning? So those who are in building wealthy families, those who are on the power call that don't really come on, or maybe just thinking about it, they can start seeing y'all growing and say, man, let me hop on in the morning. We can just touch one more person. Let's go to Sister Marcella. You still here, Sister Marcella? All right, let's go to Sister Tornisa.
I'm ready, Brother Ben. Can you hear me? I was trying to unmute. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
Okay, so I wanted to touch base on what everybody else touched base on, the financial part. Just like everybody else, my mama never taught me about finances. We grew up as hustlers, so once I got to a certain age, money just came, and I was just used to spending. But like the sister said, once you got divorced, now everything's on you. And I did the same thing she did. Was I bought my kids. I had to make sure that a certain type of lifestyle was provided for them so that they wouldn't blame me for the divorce. So that's just basically what I wanted to say is I make a lot of mistakes when it comes to money. I spend, just like you said, you want that bike that's coming up. That would be me. If I got the money for it, I'm gonna get it. And I really need to be more disciplined when it comes to the finances. And I know for a fact that that's what I'm going to get out of the power call and the BMF family. So I'm just really looking forward to growing within this family. And that's all I want to say, Brother Ben.
Yes, ma'am. Not BMF. BWF. Yeah, we ain't the gangsters.
BWF. I'm sorry.
We ain't the gangsters from Detroit now. But yeah,
All
or was that Chicago? Which one was it? But yes, ma'am. Yes,
Chicago.
ma'am. Thank you for sharing. Sister
You're
Tornisa.
welcome.
Assalamualaikum. My parents got a divorce. I was 4 years old. Well, I was I was 4. My father is a spender, and my mom is not. Right? As soon as my father gets it, he spends it. He's going to buy a suit. He's going to buy his cars. He's going to get, and he looks dapper. He wears a 3-piece suit. He looks sharp like Steve Harvey. He's a barber over 56 years. And that's what he does. My mother is who I took my pattern after. My mom, I never seen none of them with a bank account. So they didn't check their monies. My mother was a saver. And she made sure that she had something for a rainy day. And that's who I took my pattern after. No matter what happens, everyone can come to my mother for money. I don't care how much money, and they make way more money. But if they needed something, my mother had it, no matter what. I got my salon, did all I had to do, spent my money. I'm checking my books and this and other. And then the month came to pay rent for the first thing. And I said, Dad, I don't have no money. And where did I go? To my mother. And she paid my first month's rent for me. I'm not working right now, and I'm in the same pattern. I'm going to put up for a rainy day. If my family calls me for something and I don't have it, if someone owes me money, I'll get that money from the person who owes it and give it to whoever needs it. And that's how I am. And living below my means. And I see it every day. And I said, dang, I read this on the way coming to the program this weekend. And I read it before that. And I said, gosh, this is me. This is my mother. I'm in her balance. I feel I'm doing hair. I cook food. That's what my mother have done. And when it comes to money, I don't check my accounts. I just make sure I have it. If anything happens, I'm not going to fall. I'm not going to fall. I'm going to get there. It may not be that way that everyone gets there. I'm going to get there some way, somehow. I'm going to get there. And it might be a little struggle. But we're going to make it, and we'll get there. We're going to eat. I'm going to feed. I'm going to eat. My mother made sure we had food. It may not have been the food that everybody wanted, but it was good because she made it, and she made it happen. I mean, I would make spaghetti with ketchup and season the ketchup, but we had spaghetti, So pancakes, we don't eat pancakes, but we would have toast and, put butter and syrup on it. We got pancakes now. I make a way, and I just have to change the way I think, because what do I think of myself? Do I think that I am plenty? And the answer was no. And that's a harsh reality. And as smart as I'm training my daughter to be, I don't want her to think like I was thinking. I don't want her to go through the same patterns and, Talia's so smart, blah, blah. But if I don't feed her and feed her will and her drive and teach her a different way, is she going to be 52 years old with the same mindset that I have? No, I'm not going to allow that to happen. And that's why it was necessary for me to come there and be with BWF, because I had to change the way I think, because I can't have my baby girl as smart and as bright and as driven as she is. And she gets it from her mother. She gets it, my father, my grandmother, and my father, they was driven. They were entrepreneurs. They were. And I'm like that. I'm a third generation of an entrepreneur, but the mindset is still got to be changed. And that is something I don't want her to think that is okay. Her father spends money, he gets it, whatever, and he spends it. Her grandfather did it. So am I going to allow her to do that? She has to make better decisions. And I have to apologize. And I do apologize to my daughter. She's 8. And I do apologize to her, with different things, because I have to make it right. I have to make this situation right. So thank you, Brother Ben. I always thank you, because I thank Allah for you.
It is Allah who came in a person, Master Prophet Muhammad, who traveled 9,000 miles to come get us. And this is my prayers, and this is what my daughter is taught, that we have to make a difference, because how can we help others and I'm not helping myself? And we go and help people. I'll cook food and give it out, even if I don't have it. I make sure I give to other people, but I have to now make sure I do it enough for me so that I will be successful, and then I can help out we. Thank you again.
Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah. And family, this is what we're gonna be dealing with in building wealthy families. For those who's still on the fence, is how do we change these things? What do we do? How do we do this together as a community? Inside of the program and inside of our classes. So if you're on the fence, family, and you haven't got in yet, www.bwfuniversity.com. www.bwfuniversity.com. You got 4 coaches, 4 curriculums, all for the price of one. You get access to an exclusive community, and we're going live with you every morning. Me and Brother Tate gonna be live every morning. He does the live trading, which is why we're getting off at 9. So those who are inside of BWF University will be going over there with Brother Tay at 9 a.m. And then, of course, I do the power call at 7. But these are the things we're going to be working on and working to get through as a community in our session. So, yeah, let's go to Brother Wesley in the house.
Assalamu alaikum, family. This was powerful. I've read over it. I'm not gonna say I read over. I've skimmed through this book before many times that you've shared it. But to listen to it and follow along with it, and then your explanations and thoughts in between of it just bears witness to what we taught of seeing these different books that we read to bear to view them through the teachings as that filter. And I see so much in myself that I've been working on over the past few months. I've really kind of taken a step back on certain things just to really work on myself in order to be a better servant in certain things that I'm doing as well. And looking at certain aspects of myself, I've seen where I've taken on the mindset, which really is a low view of self, which kind of comes across as humility, but in all actuality, it's a lack of self-worth or a feeling that I deserve certain levels of success or deserve certain things or attaining certain levels of success. And then it produces in me an added pressure that I've been putting on my daughter, which I've noticed as well. And in hearing everyone sharing and being able to really listen to how these things pass on, which for me, the reason now thinking about it, the reason I love doing for self or strive to do for self even more is because, my father worked overnights when I was a child. So I didn't spend a lot of time that I felt I should have been spending with him doing the things, playing basketball, playing catch, doing all these type of things. It was more so he was doing more parenting, just teaching, guiding me in certain things, but then he would have to work when I would want to do things with him. So I looked at it and I've taken on the personality of, I want to put things in place so that I can have more time for my family because I'm trying to fill that void that I was having. So just seeing how mindsets, how these things pass down through generations and how in order to break them, I have to be that catalyst to break them in myself first. And then I don't pass that on to my daughter, even though like I said, I've shared this as well. She's not from, my loins, but I'm her guardian. I'm her father in this position. So I have to make sure that I'm not putting unwarranted pressure on her, which is then passing on the same type of mindset that I have of trying to, as it brought up in the book, those fears, that security, which to me, I interpret that as well as you may take a job or you may take a contract or you may do a certain project that may in a way can help you, in a way it builds your character, in a way it adds to your skill set, but in all actuality, it's really an insecurity because you don't want to step out on what you should be doing. And I'm speaking of myself. It's an insecurity in myself that I'm still insecure because after I complete that project, I still have certain aspects of myself that I'm looking at, okay, well, what am I going to do with this money, or what am I going to do with the next step? Am I going to be worthy enough to be able to do the same effort that I put in for somebody else? Am I able to do that for myself as well? So understanding that these mindsets have to be broken in order to build up the right mindset to be able to attain what is actually rightfully mine when you talk about a birthright as well. So I just I love this breaking it down and really just seeing myself properly is what I've been working on the last few months, is really viewing myself properly and also viewing others properly as well, to be able to execute on ideas that I have and be able to help not only them reach certain levels of success, but ultimately be able to help myself and help my family, because that's really what it is, and stop getting out of this low view of self as well, that is causing it to disguise itself as humility, but in all actuality is because I'm self-sabotaging or being self-destructive in the ways that I'm doing things that aren't taking me to the level that I should be at. So that's just a few things that stood out. So much more, but I don't want to take too much time. So all praise is due to Allah. And again, thank you for allowing me to share.
Praise be to Allah. Sister Hazel, man, y'all got some good realizations in here this morning. Sister Hazel.
Oh, yes, sir. Sister Randisha had me a little confused. She said we weren't going to be able to finish up, and I understand.
Go ahead. You wasted. We got 7 more minutes.
Yes, sir. So I'm like, my parents taught me that money was the root of all evil. So growing up, I struggled with that, and I taught my daughters, always have your own money. And I don't think that's necessarily a good thing, because then you don't necessarily trust. So for me, I never come on here, but hearing this book actually sparked me to actually do better. I was speaking with Sister Alexis last night, and she's awesome. And I told her that I would be joining. My husband's birthday is June 5th. And I couldn't come because I couldn't leave him and come by myself. So we enjoyed a family get together. And by the time I came inside, I fell asleep, and it was after midnight. So I will be joining, but just not currently. And I just appreciate being part of this community, even though I don't say much. I really appreciate and love you all. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for sharing. And then we're going to end off with the great brother Daniel.
We had a great brother there. Praise be to Allah. Very inspired by what I heard this morning. I wasn't intending on speaking because I kind of came in late, but I'm hearing the importance, especially from our great brother Wesley, just spoke of self-concept and getting over the things that we have that have us with a low sense of self, and how that equates to money and how we spend money, especially with the relationships that we forge that's rooted in how we use our money. I went through a divorce, and one of the biggest things in my mind was, because I never heard nothing good about a man who got a divorce and financially didn't just sink. So I was making decisions based on, man, I ain't trying to be sleeping in my car and poor and ragged and cold and all of this stuff. But that really wasn't a proper attitude. So I remember Study Guide 7 where the minister said, get rid of fear. Get rid of guilt. So if I'm making decisions with money based on fear and guilt, I'm already out the box. I'm already in trouble. But this is the reality that we are faced with in our relationships. Husband to wife, wife to husband, mother to children, children to mother. All of this type of stuff has a lot to do with how we see ourselves, and getting that mindset where we are not making decisions like that. But as you say, Brother Ben, using money as a tool and as a medium to facilitate the desires of our mind and heart in a righteous way, that's where we all have to get to, and then we become rich. The minister said we have a poverty of mind. And as Brother Wesley spoke, that's what we're struggling with. That's what I'm struggling with, trying to have a better idea of whom Allah sees me as, so that I can use money in a proper way and not use money as a camouflage or as a covering to be that which I'm not. So it's just a lot that we're gonna learn all these power calls and studying the study guides and all of these things, because it's going to raise our vibration and our thinking so that we use money to our benefit and not to our detriment. Thank you.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And brother Neri said, as Brother Wesley reminded us, money is a good servant, but a terrible master. So thank you all for joining your power call this morning. We are those of you all who are in the building, Wealthy Families. We're about to go over to Brother Tay's live trading. His trading room is already open. It's going to get started at 9, and let's just continue to build this thing one by one, piece by piece. Just to let you guys know, let me see something real quick. Hold on. Just to show you guys, because somebody asked me something yesterday. Hold on. Somebody asked yesterday, they said, Brother Ben, they said, when y'all gonna let people be affiliates for BWF? I said, once we reach the top 10. So if y'all don't know, this is a school, this platform is called School, right? And Alex Hormozy and his wife and, Sam Ovens, they have this partnership, right? And they got $100 million businesses. Like, they really killing it, right? And so they do this competition, and as y'all can see, rank in the top 10 and win one day with Hormozy at his Vegas headquarters. So we get to collaborate and go to a mastermind and learn how they're really growing and impacting people, right? Now, y'all know whatever we learn, we're going to bring it back to y'all. So we got to get in this top 10. Right now, we are number 15 in the world, Craig. We are number 15 in the world right now, y'all. We number 15 in the world. So if we can get up in this top 10, as far as growth, y'all, we're gonna be flown out, to Dallas, man. And I mean, not to Dallas, to Vegas, and learn those things. So again, if you guys are interested in joining this mentorship program that I think is going to impact many lives, already impacting many lives, www.bwfuniversity.com, www.bwfuniversity.com. And if y'all want a sneak peek of the type of love, the type of coaching that you're going to get, I want to show y'all this clip by Sister Courtney from yesterday's VIP training, so y'all can understand this is not your regular program where you just go get some courses and you left by yourself. Look at the type of care that you're going to get from the coaches as we close out.
Yep. So I respectfully, I don't give you permission to be overwhelmed. Okay. I don't want you to feel that at all. It's just right now you're currently in the unknown. And so the moment we actually get you into the known, you're going to have a clear checklist of how you're structured. You're going to have a clear checklist of what your due dates are. You're going to have a very clear checklist of what needs to be in place for you. So you don't need to be overwhelmed. The cool thing is you just started this business last year in May of 2023. So you're in the perfect position, because as we're on these calls, we'll be able to comb through these things, and it's not like you're 10 years later trying to figure out how to learn these things. Yep. And then what will take place is after you send that information over, we are going to ask that anytime you guys ever send information over, you give us at minimum 3 to 5 business days for us to look over everything, calibrate a strategy, be able to identify what we need to know, and then we'll reach out to you. We'll get a call scheduled via Zoom or whatever our communication method is to be able to let you know what we gathered based off of what you sent over, and then your next steps. So you don't need to call anybody. You don't need to be overwhelmed, not even a little bit. You're just going to send that information over, and then from there, we're going to hop on a call and we're going to get an understanding and be able to tell you very clearly what your next steps are. Does that work for you, brother?
Yeah, that works.
Beautiful. Yep. I'm excited.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Woo! We're going to get busy. So peace, y'all. It's 9. Everybody, go inside of your school platform if you're over in BWF, and we'll see you guys in the trade room. Peace.
Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.